Hello, and welcome to Mind Your Head, a space for people to share their stories, talk openly and honestly about their own mental health challenges, and to give some listeners some comfort in knowing you're not alone. Before we get into today's episode, I want to quickly share something that I've been loving lately. Cooking's always been a big outlet for me. It helps me slow down, switch off, and put my energy to something creative. After a long day, it's honestly one of the best ways I've found to release stress and just reset. That's why I genuinely love HelloFresh. It makes cooking easy, takes the stress out of figuring out what to make, and the meals are actually unreal. So if you're looking for a simple way to eat better, enjoy cooking a bit more, check out HelloFresh. Use the code MindYourHead at checkout for up to $240 off your first 6 boxes. I've always asked my guests, what are your 3 non-negotiables for living a healthy and full life? For me, it's movement, community, and good nutrition. I've learned that what you fill your body with plays a massive role in how you feel physically and mentally. That's why I use True Protein. They're an Aussie brand doing things the right way. Clean, natural supplements with no artificial additives or fillers. Everything's made in-house in Sydney's northern beaches using the highest quality ingredients sourced from around the world. Whether it's supporting energy, improving focus, or reducing fatigue, their products genuinely help me show up better every single day. And just like Mind Your Head, they live by values I stand by. Be true, be you, and take care of your whole self. Tom, welcome.
Wow.
Welcome to Mind Your Head, mate. It's a pleasure to have you on today. I've been sort of, I don't know if you know this, but I've been trying to get you on for a while now. I really admire sort of who you are as a person, but you know, I came across all your AFL videos that you do, and I absolutely loved, and I was chatting to a mate the other day about it. I'm so attracted to people that are 100% genuine, you're right, and they don't pretend to be something else online. They don't, and you meet them in person, then they're a different, they're a different being. I love, and I'm so drawn to people that you can tell when they're 100% genuine because they feel different. There's a different vibe to someone else, and I got that with you. Even online, I was just like, man, this guy, it's so easy when, there's online criticism. People love to sort of hang shit on you, right?
I bring it on myself a lot of the time.
Yeah, but you don't change. Yeah. And I love that because it's in a world where it's so easy to change, to please people, to fit in or to get that validation. You're still like holding strong and just doing your thing. And I I love that. I have so much respect for that.
I'd love to know from you, like, what do you, like, we obviously met, we've been sort of ice bath, everything for the last hour. Yeah. Was there anything different in the last hour from actually meeting me in person that you thought was different to what I give out online?
No.
Or it's all real?
No.
That's great to hear. That's what I want to hear.
I was actually going to say that when I met you. I was just like, fuck, you're exactly who in the nicest, most compliment way possible. Like, you're exactly who I thought you were going to be.
That's amazing.
I love that. Like, and you're actually a lot taller than I thought.
Dude, everybody always says that.
I was like, fuck, you're actually pretty tall.
Yeah, they're always like, what the? You're actually way taller than I thought. I don't even think of myself as being that tall, but and I'm not that tall, but like a lot of people do, they're like, wow, never expected you to be.
We're the same height.
Yeah.
Rattling.
I find that so funny.
Has that been a journey for you, going through, especially getting into social media and staying true to yourself? Was there moments where, I guess we're all young men, we're trying to find out who we are and we all crave certain things, especially as young men, we always crave certain things. Not until we get a little bit older, we get a bit of hindsight and go, I actually don't need that.
Yeah.
How has that journey been, sort of getting onto social media and then staying true to your beliefs, your values and who you are as a man?
It's really interesting. I love it when you say like young man or young men, like, what is young man? Like, is that 15 to 20? Is that 20 to 30? Like, because if you're 80, you probably see both of us as we're still young men. Like,
I had a guy hit me up, and he was like, you being a young man. I'm like, I'm 35. He's like, you're a young man.
But you're young, right? Like, it's so funny when you say young man. Like, and sometimes people say, oh, you've got a young following. I'm like, what does that actually mean? Do you mean 12 to 15? Or like define the term? But
younger than us.
Younger than us. Like, it depends where you're looking at. If you're 80 or 100, like we're the youngest. But to answer your question, I think that you go through so many different. I've been doing social media for 6 or 7 years now. I'm really fortunate that I've grown steadily. I don't think I've ever had like a really big spike in growth. Like I've grown pretty steadily over 6 or 7 years, and it's tough because, like we were saying before, you get a lot of positive and you get a lot of negative. Sometimes you get a lot of criticism, but you also get a lot of affirmation. You get a lot of people saying, you've changed my life. You've had such a positive impact in my life. So I think that for me, I'm really, really fortunate that I feel in my own life that the positive far outweighs the negative. Like I've never had a negative interaction in real life. Like I've never had someone come up to me and go, I hate you so much. Like you're a wanker. Like, but people do on social media. They say you're a wanker, but then in real life they're like, you've changed my life. Or like, I know you cop a lot of shit and sometimes I give you shit, but I really like what you put out. And then it's like, well, why do you say shit to me on social media?
Is that the strangest thing? Because you did a video a while ago and it was like, the crowd hanging shit on you, and then one of the crowd members came up and was like, dude, you're actually fucking good. And I'm just like, why don't say good things then? What's the hate culture?
It's so much easier to pull someone down than to bring someone up. It's way more comfortable, I think, for people to pull people down, because it just, I think it validates the fact, validates the fact that they're...
Success, achievement, are they envious?
That they're not achieving
is
as
not
much
achieving?
as what you are. I've got no idea. I've got no idea why, but I used to be like that. Like I used to hang a lot of shit on people probably when I was 18 or 19 that I was jealous of, maybe. And I'm not saying that everybody that hangs shit on me is jealous of me. Like that's not my perspective at all. Some people probably generally do really dislike me. And you know what? That's fine. Like you can't please everyone. And that's something that I put my head on the pillow every night and I kind of think, I'm not going to please everyone. Not everyone's going to like you. And that's something that you do realize the more that you put yourself out on social media. But at least if people really don't like me, at least they really don't like the real me. They don't like a different or a non-authentic me that's put out on social media. And I think a lot of the time as well on social media, sometimes you conform to the bubble of like what people like about you. So when I say that, what I mean is, for me, I used to get a lot of views playing football when I used to get in fights. That would be the hook of all my videos. It would be me fighting other people or them fighting me and trying to give me stick and that kind of thing. Dog shots and all this kind of thing. And I used to go out in the field because I got so many views from that. Like I was getting 5 million, 10 million views on these videos. And it's like, wow, this is such dopamine. So I'd go out there and I'd try and start fights with people. And because I get more views from that. So I'd go out and I'd try to start fights. And then after about a year of doing that, I realized, hang on a second, this is not the person that I am, but I am literally starting to conform to this bubble of views and what people like about me. And I would rather now get 20,000 or 10,000 views about something that I'm actually passionate about and I love, rather than get 5 million views of a person that actually isn't me.
Getting bashed, the body would be a bit sore too, eh?
Oh my God, I'm 26, I'm just about ready to hang up the boots, mate.
I did forget to do my normal intro, because we sort of got into it.
That's right. I don't even know when we started. I think we've been talking for the last 3 hours.
So what I like to do at the start of the podcast is something I do with my friends and family, is just do a check-in.
Cool.
So how is the mind, body and spirit going? You mentioned before, you sort of came back from Dubai, the war was going on. How was all that experience?
Just incredible. Like the most insane experience I think ever, to be honest. And I gotta be, Dubai is one of the most incredible places in the world. Like you are surrounded by such wealth and success that it is truly mind-blowing to be around, to literally leave your apartment and you walk down the street and it's Ferrari, Lamborghini, Rolls Royce, Bugatti, just on your street. And you're like, what is going on here? And these people, you're sitting at dinner with these people and they're talking about making $13 million yesterday and the day before in these speaking gigs that they're doing. And your mind is truly blown. And then they're like, what are you doing for business? And I'm like, I don't want to talk about it. Talk about it. But it's like, it's this really interesting thing, I do believe, of success. And I talk about success and being successful and what that actually means, because defining the term success is different to everyone. And for a lot of people, I feel, that are in Dubai, success, and a lot of people that I talk to, success only means financial. And that's something you've got to be really, really careful of as a person. Now, financial is definitely an aspect, in my opinion, of success. But I also truly believe that relationships and health, and when I talk about health, that is a whole myriad of things. It is your mental, it's your physical, it's your spiritual, it's emotional, it's all these kind of things that then tie into tie into as well relationships. And success for me is having a good kind of, I guess, full circle or triangle, I call it triangle success. You've got your relationships, you've got health and fitness, and then you have your financial. And if you can be successful in all three of those realms, I truly believe that you'll have a good life. And for me, to answer your question, I would say that my mind, body, and my soul, or my spirit, is very, very aligned at the moment, and probably more aligned than it's ever been in my entire life, because I feel like I'm trying to tick those 3 boxes. And if you tick those 3 boxes, you end up being pretty happy.
Yeah. Is the cold plunge sauna, is that the normal routine in the mornings? Do you have I feel like you're routine driven. Am I correct in saying that?
I love routine.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that's why I hate moving around. Like before, like we're 3 months into the year now, and I've not spent more than 9 days in the same country or bed, like not once this year. It's just crazy.
Yeah.
Like I'm moving around all the time. Started the year in Oz, and then I was in Dubai. Then I was around kind of different places in the UAE. Then I come back to Australia. Then we went to some other, back to Dubai. Then the war started, so we got out of there. We went to Oman for a little bit, and then we went down to Melbourne, and then we were in Queensland. So we're all over the shop. Then we go to Bali in the next couple of weeks as well. I love moving around, and I'm very fortunate that my business is a business that's online, so I can move around. And I've kind of set my life up to do that. But yeah, it's fast paced, and I don't like not having a routine. Yeah. So it's been really nice to be back.
When you're floating around as well. And like, it's interesting because you know that freedom. It sounds like you've got that freedom where you're able to sort of travel and sort of go to different places. But at the same time, it's hard to juggle stability too. Because I know like something that I love, something I crave is like stability as well.
Yeah.
And like, you know, when you're set in one spot, you can sort of get your routine going on. But when you're sort of moving around, you can get a little bit rattled a little bit.
It's a sacrifice that I'm willing to pay.
Yeah.
Is the fact of the matter, and the truth of it is like, I'm happy to sacrifice my routine or my, like, I would love to have a dog and I'd love to have a family in the next 3 years. But right now...
Mate, you're 26.
I know. I'm pretty ready, mate. I'm pretty ready.
You're
I'd love to have a dog.
now,
I'd love to have kids. That's the goal for me. Like, family is the biggest driver for me. Like, anytime I talk about financial success, it's not about me and it's not about now. It's about sending my kids to a good school. It's about having my kids having a life that they love, us being able to travel and the kids being able to see the world. It's about my partner not having to worry about finances, and she's happy and safe, and I can worry about that side of things. And I think that's always been a really, really big driver for me, and that's what the biggest driver I think is, like, never having to tell my kids, I can't come to your prom, I can't come to your game, I can't come to your tournament, I can't come, I've got to work. Sorry, kids. I never want to look my kids in the eye and have to say that to them. Dad's got to work. Sorry, kids. Dad's got to work. I never want that to happen. I want to be there for them with their whatever it is, and that's the biggest goal for me. And I'm willing to sacrifice my 20s. I'm willing to forego drinking. I'm ready to forego all these other things that I don't have a want for in order to have that delayed gratification of that when I'm older.
It's a pretty powerful reason why, isn't it? How was your childhood? What was your childhood like? You know, you talk about, you know, a lot of your motivation now is wanting to be that, you know, that great father, that great role model, that great provider. What was your dad like growing up?
I think I'm really fortunate that I did have a really great dad who was there for me, who would come home and kick the footy with me a lot of the time when I was a kid. I grew up in a really small country town in Western Australia, probably about 1,000, 2,000 people, pretty big like Indigenous community there as well. And it was a really small, I guess small-minded when you're in a small country town and you're not really thinking bigger and bigger and bigger. And we grew up not like we weren't wealthy or we didn't have like these anything really crazy going for us as kids. But then we moved to Queensland and my dad started a new bus company when I was about year 6 or year 7. And I got to see firsthand what it takes to kind of lock in. And dad would just work. And but he worked, but still was there for us. He still had time for the family, which was great. But less time, definitely less time. And he locked in, and I got to see firsthand like the fruits of the labour, I reckon. And dad
that work ethic.
It was incredible. And now like we're really fortunate. We're in a much better, or we're in a comfortable position, I'd say. And like I said, I think that it gives me and we were able to travel, and we were able to go on family trips. We were able to go to Bali. We were able to go to Europe and these kind of things. And I want to be able to give that to my family as well. So that's probably a big motivator for me, I'd say.
What were some moments that really shaped you growing up, either positive or negative that you experienced?
Great question.
Yeah.
Great question. Great question. I think sport shaped me a lot. Yeah, interesting. I would say the boarding. I went to boarding school in years 7, 8, and 9. I'd say that shaped me a lot because I was a pretty, as you could imagine, loud, energetic, and boisterous.
You've always been like this.
Boisterous kid, I would say. And when you get into the boarding house, year 8, 9, 10,
a lot of alphas.
There's a lot. The year 11s and 12s run the show a little bit. And when you think you're going all right as a young fella, you roll through the boarding house.
Yeah.
And that was truly, I think, a bit of a wake up call for me.
A bit of a
humbling experience.
Yeah.
But definitely going, like, I was always one of the smartest kids in the school, and I was always one of the best sport players in the school. And that was from literally year 1 until year 7. I always thought I was pretty good. And then you go to this big school in West Australia called Hale School, and there's 400, 500 kids in the year level.
Yeah.
You're no longer the smartest.
No.
In fact, you're not even close. You're no longer even close to being a good footballer.
Yeah.
And you got to work bloody hard to gain the respect of people who have been there their whole life. And I think as well for me, moving around a lot as a kid, like I would have moved a lot of, like every couple of years we moved new schools or we moved to a new place around Australia. And I think that shaped me a lot these days in order to, now I travel around to different local football clubs every week. I travel to different countries every week. And it's funny, like talking to my beautiful partner who she's never moved really outside of Melbourne, and it's so scary for her to like go to these different places and do these different things. And for me, it's just normal because I think that when I was young and I was growing up, I was able to move around and I was able to create new relationships and new friends with people. And that's such an important skill to be able to be confident to move around and just walk into a room and be able to make friends with someone and you're liked or you're loved. And it's such an important skill to have the confidence to do that.
Yeah, and just connect straight away and get outside your comfort zone. Like for a kid, that would be so uncomfortable sort of moving and making new friends, and even like, you know, the anxiety and the nervousness around making new friends. You've trained yourself to be great at that. And as you're an adult now, like your networking skills would be through the roof because you can just walk into a space like here and be like, what's up, boys?
What's going on, boys? Yeah, act like you know everyone. Like, and you don't even think about it really. Like now I don't think about walking into a new room and being nervous.
Social anxiety and that stuff.
Never even really thought about it. But I could imagine that for some people it's really, really scary. So to answer your question, I would say that, like moving around a lot as a kid and I think as well experiencing different cultures, like going to Bali and seeing what poverty really looks like in some of these places.
And how grateful they are.
And how amazing they love
like
life.
I did a rugby trip to Vietnam and I didn't think I was going to enjoy it as much as I did. I loved it. I was there for a week and our liaison chaperone, he was sort of taking us around the cities and stuff, and we came across this kid in a convenience store, and his mum was working in there, and I can't remember what we were buying something in there, and this kid was like, oh, come out the back and I want to show you my pool. I was like, pool? You got a pool? How good's this? And he took me out of the back and it was a hole in the ground. Like he just dug a hole in the ground with rainwater coming off the gutter and then sort of filling it up kind of, but it was just all muddy water. And this guy was like, check out my pool. But dude, he was the happiest. He was like seen as like the well-off kid because he's got a pool in the backyard. And I was just like, good on you, mate. He's like, do you want to get in? I was like, no, I'm all right. I'm all right. But it just really opens your eyes up and understands, like, you know, you come back home and all the little things that we used to sort of take for granted or sort of whinge about or complain about. I'm like, mate, we've got it pretty good.
Oh, mate, don't get me started on that. Like, I couldn't agree more. Like, sometimes the things that we whinge about in Australia, and I was a culprit of it sometimes as well. I was like, you know, we've got this, and then you're over in the UAE and there's a war happening and you're kind of like, actually.
It's actually not.
It's
actually not that bad.
But there's a lot of things like that where sometimes you have to really realize how good you've got it, and you might not even have it that good. Like for example, the pool in the backyard, like doesn't have it that good, but how would like he's grateful, and that's why it's so important to be grateful. And we did exercise the other day with all of my coaching clients, and I just wanted everyone to say what they're grateful of, and it comes back all the time to the same thing, like having good people around you, having family around you, like being able to move your body. Like you don't even have to have anything crazy. It's just being able to move your body. Just go for a walk or get outside. Like some people don't even have that luxury to be able to do that, and we take it for granted sometimes.
Oh, big time. I think that really sparked a memory with me because there's this gym around the corner, and at one point there was a lot of care workers would bring in people that have had some sort of, bad injuries, car crashes, and they would take them to the gym. And a lot of the times they would be amputees or, disabled from the waist down or whatever the injury may be. And they would come to the gym and they would the carers would have different attachments. They could do a pull down or they could do a row or they could lift up something, and they would always always roll in at the end of my workout where I'm like, oh, I can't, I've got nothing left, I'm buggered, I kind of want to go home now. I've been here for 50 minutes, I'm like, oh, I'm done. And they'd all roll in and then they just start doing a workout, and I'm just thinking, fuck, if it's like a natural pre-workout. So I look at that and I go, man, they're still getting after it. Like every day they come in, they get a workout in. There's a guy that's, no feeling from the waist down. He's got a prosthetic arm that can sort of move his chair and do sort of stuff. And he still gets on the thing, does got these little contraptions they can do pull downs or some sort of rows and stuff. And I'm just thinking, fuck, that's all the motivation or inspiration or gratitude that I need in life, where I can wake up and go, look, I've got no excuses.
Yeah.
You tell yourself little excuses just to make you feel better, and you look at that and you go, oh, I've got no excuses.
How much happier would you be if you just focused on the good things that's going on?
Yes.
And sorry, I was like crook last week, so I've got a bit of a cough sometimes. But how much happier would you be if you just focused on the things that are going well? And I always say this to so many people, is control the controllables. It's something that I don't know if you heard in kind of sporting context. Like we used to always get it in football, where it's control the controllables, control what you can control when you go out on the field. And it's such a good, I guess, kind of metaphor for life. Like if you can control what you can control, a lot of the time you cannot control the weather, you can't control sometimes politics, you can't control all of these things you can't really control the war. You can't control these things that are going on in the world. You can't control fuel prices. Stop fucking complaining about it. I don't know if I'm allowed to swear. Stop complaining.
You can swear.
Stop complaining about these things. You have no control over. And yes, it sucks. It's okay to feel like it sucks, but you got a car. Some people don't even have a car. So you can still drive around. You can still get from A to B.
Yeah.
There's so much that's going on in the world, and all you see is people complaining. It's focus on what you can control. Okay, fuel prices are going up. You're struggling with the cost of living. I'm not going to sit there and complain. I'm going to go out there and try and fix it for myself and find another way to potentially earn some money or maybe do a side hustle or
cut down on costs.
I'm going to
sacrifice.
Groceries are going up. Okay, I'm not going to buy the stuff that I normally buy. I can get away buying $100 a week groceries. You don't need, instead of focusing on problem, focus on solution. And your life will be so much better if you just all right, let's dial in on the solution.
Well, that's the definition of suffering, isn't it? Where we just focus on the problem and actually not focus on the solution, because that's when you just start suffering and there's no...
You spend too much time on your phone, you focus on problems all the time. All that comes up, it's what hooks people in. Yeah. And you just have to focus on the good.
You mentioned footy before. Was that your direction growing up? Did you want to be a professional AFL player?
Yeah, definitely.
Big time?
Definitely. You?
Yeah, that was
not AFL, obviously.
No, but rugby. I remember, from a very I think it was under sevens or something. I wanted to be a professional rugby player. That's all I told anyone. That anyone ever asked me is what are you doing when you're older? You going to uni? I was going to uni. Fuck that. I'm gonna be a professional rugby player. I almost put all my eggs in one basket so badly that I did not focus on anything else. It was all I ever wanted. And there were so many different layers to why I wanted it, you know, and I look back on it now and we talk about hindsight, like, did I want it for me? Did I want it to make my parents proud? Did I want it to feel successful? Was that success in my mind? Did I want it to feel like it was going to fill a void? You know, did I want it just because I wanted to wear the Australian jersey? Like, there were so many layers to it. But at the time I was like, no, that's just like my identity as a person. So, and it's interesting, I'll let you answer it, but that's like, I think once I achieved it, it didn't solve any of the issues that were going inside my head at all. I remember like made my debut, walked into the sheds, everyone was like, just sort of bit of a presentation, your family's there, getting phone calls, getting messages and stuff. And I remember just sitting there looking down and going, fuck, I feel the same.
So interesting,
Thinking it was gonna solve the noise in my head or solve this puzzle of being successful. And it was just like, oh, this isn't what I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
I thought I was just going to be on this massive high.
Yeah.
And it was just like, no, you wake up tomorrow and you're still the same Elliot.
Yeah.
You know?
It's the same with business and with money a lot of the time as well. Like, I think that a lot of people think that, making X amount of money is going to solve their problem. Like, when is enough? But what do you truly want? Like, what is it that you truly, truly want out of your life? What is going to actually bring you fulfillment? What do you think brought you fulfillment?
Fulfillment now. So I was chasing fulfillment back then. So I thought being a professional rugby player was going to be fulfilling. Like, and like, it wasn't until I started this podcast. I remember thinking, once I stopped playing footy, I thought to myself, that will be the highlight of my life. There will be nothing that will ever top that. That will be my greatest achievement. And it wasn't until I started the podcast, and you know, I started getting messages from people saying, you know, thanks, you've inspired me to, you know, to seek help, or there's a positive change in someone's life. And, you know, I've decided to talk about some of the issues, and I'm just like, oh, wow, this is, you know, now I know true fulfillment. It wasn't scoring tries. It wasn't winning footy games. It wasn't winning grand finals. It wasn't none of that stuff. It was how I made people feel that made me fulfilled. So, and to answer your question, like, I did not feel fulfilled at all. I was chasing it. I was chasing a fake version of it, or what I thought it was going to be. But helping people, or making people feel a certain way, or initiating a positive change in someone's life, that's fulfillment for me.
Yeah. For me, it was obviously, same goal. I wanted to play AFL football. Not sure. Maybe it was to make my dad proud. Maybe.
You reckon?
Because I felt like he put so many hours, and he was like my footy coach a lot of the time growing up. Like, looking back on it, that's probably the first time I've ever really thought like that, but probably that. Make my family proud. But it was my identity a lot of the time. Like, football was part of me. It was me. Like, that was everything that made me me. And I was saying to you before as well that when I actually stripped that back and got rid of that, because I remember getting injured probably 3 or 4 years ago, and it felt like my identity had been ripped out because I couldn't play football when I was injured, and it was like, what do I stand for? Who am I?
Who am I?
Who am I?
That's the toughest question to answer.
Who am I?
Yeah.
And what makes me? Because if I take that one part away, like, what do I actually stand for? Who am I? My identity had been ripped away from me. So for me, it has been a lot about finding other things that make me me, and not just football. And that's something that I've definitely found. And going back to what you said, impact and impacting people is the number one best, positively impacting people. There's no better feeling when someone
Nothing
can
beats
say,
it,
when someone says, oh, you've changed my life. So, some of the messages and people that I've been able to impact through the coaching over the last 16 to 18 months, it's truly just, that's...
It's overwhelming, because you think to yourself, like, it's just me. Like, I'm not doing anything amazing. Like, you know, you almost downplay what you're doing, because I'm always thinking, I'm just having conversations with people. That's all I'm doing. But then, you know, the power of having a conversation with someone, or speaking about things that, you know, a lot of us don't like to talk about, or a lot of us, you know, avoid talking about it. I think that gives people permission that they're allowed to do it too. And I think I underestimate the power of that. And when you get someone that messages you and go, "Oi, you know, I've lost, you know, weight, and because I've lost weight, I'm happy I can spend more time with my kids." And there's a ripple effect. Like, you're in the health industry, there is a ripple effect of your health, how it ripples across and how it affects your friends, your family, your business. It's you know, it's the number one thing on my priority list, and it never used to be. It used to be, you know, partner, you know, family, friends, job, whatever it is. But my health used to be like number 6 or 7.
Yeah.
And it was, you know, you put all your energy into these things, and then to be a little left for me, and then you think, oh, I can survive on that, but you can't. You can't at all. And it wasn't until, I know that sounds selfish, and I know it sounds, you know, you should always put, you know, other people first or your family first, but it wasn't until I put my health number 1 where I really like, and my wife, she's always on my back, and she's always been like, we were watching an episode of a podcast, I can't remember what it was, and I asked her, I go, do you feel like I put you first? Thinking I was going to get a yes, you know?
Never a good response, she says no.
She goes, yeah, I feel like you put me first after yourself. And I was like, oh, shit. Fuck, I felt like, not attacked, but I was like, oh, damn it. Like, I feel like I'm a failure. I didn't say it, but the look on my face, she could probably tell. And she went, no, like, it's all right. Like, we need it to be that way. Because if you put someone else first, that can only last so long. And then you'll get into like a burnout, you get into a slump.
Powerful.
And I was like, oh, right. She goes, I need you to be the best version of yourself. And if your best version of yourself is ticking off those things in the morning, whether it's as simple as, you know, a morning walk on the beach, a cold plunge, a sauna, getting, you know, eating right, you know, staying off the drink, you know, exercising. If all those things make you a better version, and this is my wife talking, I get the better version of you, like, I need that.
And I'll challenge that
by...
Is that really putting yourself first? Because at the end of the day...
Exactly.
Because at the end of the day, what you're actually doing, if you really think about it, is turning up better for everyone else in your life. So what you're actually doing by putting yourself first is actually giving the world a better version of you. So you're a better dad, you'll be a better father, you're a better partner, you're a better friend, you're a better family member for your also extended family, you're a better son. So is it really selfish? Yeah, it's so interesting because I had the exact same conversation with a friend, and I said the exact same thing. Even though it comes off, I'm doing these things for me, which is what it looks like, but the ripple effect is that everyone else gets the benefits as well. So it's like, it's the best for the both of us, isn't it? Is it? And then, isn't it? And then you're eating healthy, and I always talk about your kids mirror, right? Your kids are going to mirror what you do to train. So is it really selfish, or is what you're doing setting a good example for your children? Modeling good behaviours. You know, we all need that. And you mentioned before your training and how you've impacted so many people. It's funny because it's like almost people know you as Prime Train before they know you as Tom. Yeah, no, you know? And you talked about identities and like how you had to sort of let go of that AFL identity and sort of not let go of the dream, but sort of, you know, didn't quite work out. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, who are you without AFL? Now it's sort of like you are Prime Train. And it's funny when people refer you to as Prime Train. I'm like, his name's Tom. Yeah, well, it's so funny because a lot of people they're like, do people know you as Prime Train, or do you like it when people call you Prime Train and they don't know you as Tom? And I'm like, Prime Train is Tom. Like, it's no different. Like, I'm the same fucking person. It doesn't, I'm not if I turn up as Prime Train and then I turn up as Tom Baulch, they're not different people. It's not. It's not a superhero. It's not a superhero, right? I'm not Clark Kent and Superman. It's the same bloke at the end of the day. So when people say, "Oh, does that worry you?" or it's like, I don't feel like I have to put on the mask or put on the cape to be anyone different. I'm still the same bloody person. I'm still authentic. I'm still real. So it doesn't affect me. It doesn't affect you. So how did the whole Prime Train come along? Because you obviously do a lot of. I absolutely love obviously your footy content, which we talked about. But how did it sort of get into fitness? Were you a fitness instructor? Yeah, so I originally started like that. It's actually quite funny. It's sort of been a full circle for me because I originally started as pandemic training because I started it during the pandemic. So that's where it all started. In Melbourne, 7 years ago in Queensland. I was at UQ, University of Queensland, and pandemic COVID started, and then I started pandemic training. So that was me for 2 years, 3 years probably. Yeah. And then the pandemic sort of stopped. So I decided to change it to Prime Training. And that's where I started sort of posting a little bit more fitness content. And then I realized that there's so much fitness content out there, and I needed something that separated me from everyone else. So I started posting some football content. I started posting local football content. I started posting people belting me in local football games, and that was my point of difference. And then it kind of went so far into football because that was just like what I was posting, and it was getting the views and everything. So that's sort of where it all went. And then, but Prime Training, which then got shortened to Prime Train, has always been a fitness brand, and that's kind of always how I've been able to subsidize it. I did my own supplements, I did my own apparel, I did everything from that, my own coaching programs, but then I created my own app probably 18 to 24 months ago, and that has really like, that's the focus now of the brand.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's kind of where it's all funneled to now. Yeah. I just have one product, one offer, and it's the coaching.
Is that where your true passion lies there?
I love coaching more than most things in the world. I love coaching. Like I love seeing people change their lives more than anything else in the world. Like some of the stories we have are just incredible. Like people that have been on the piers, or they've got some blokes that have lost 40 kilos, 50 kilos, completely changed their lives, people that have saved their marriages, people that have got off antidepressants, like all these crazy stories that you're just like, wow, like this is real impact. But down the line in the future, if it's 4 or 5 years from now, like I don't want to have to post on social media forever. I don't want to, when my kids come along and my family comes along, I'm not posting TikToks with my kids. Like I'm not one of those people, and I don't want to be one of those people to subsidize my life. I think eventually my true passion is probably in business. It's probably being able to coach and help businesses, because as much as, and a part of that would probably be fitness, I would say. But I sat down with a mate yesterday who's creating a new brand, a new business, and I was kind of talking him through like what he could do here, what he could do there. And he walked away from me, he was like, wow, like that was insane. That was incredible. And I think business for me is a real passion, and being able to help other businesses use social media, use marketing, use content in order to completely and utterly transform and change their lives, and hopefully set up their families for the future.
Level up. Who's been your biggest mentors or coaches in the business realm when you sort of first got into it?
So many.
Was there?
Yeah, I'd say Alex Hormozi is he's just incredible. Yeah. If you're into business and you like business, dude, Hormozi's the man. Yeah. Incredible. I have a really good friend, Alfie Robertson, who's helped me a lot. He's just been absolutely amazing from a social media perspective. And then a lot of my probably close friends as well, probably Louis Phillips as well, is just, I wouldn't say business mentor, but really, really close friend who and we've done a lot of work together on business, where we just sat down and just got on the laptop for 12 hours. We kind of just pushed through. But business and social media and everything now, you have such an opportunity. Like you've got AI, you've got all these incredible tools that you can use. Oh my God, it's crazy.
Is it easier than ever, or is there still obviously, the hustle and building a business?
It's easier than ever if you're willing to work hard.
Oh, I love
but
that.
Most people are not willing to work hard, and they don't understand how much they have to sacrifice and how much work actually truly goes into making a really big business. Like people think that creating your own business and starting your own business means you get a lot more free time. It's a fucking opposite. You do not get free time.
He just started his business,
mate.
And he's
if
like,
you think you've got, I'm free. I got my Easter off, and I work every day, all day. You don't get weekends off. You don't get time off. You always think that the issue is that yes, you might have that time off, but you're still thinking about it. You're still thinking like, what can I do? Like I woke up this morning and I was like, okay, what am I going to do here? What's going to be my hook for this? What's going to be, like there's so many different parts of the business that you have to think about. So that's probably one of my biggest passions. I love being able to bring, like I've been able to bring other coaches, fitness coaches onto the app, and they've got their own fitness program, and being able to bring them on board and show them, like I had one guy the other day who was like, I want to make, my goal is to make 10K a month. And I was like, dude, we'll make 100. Like, just let's do this, and this. Yeah. And it, like being able to show that and see people's eyes go like, whoa, like that's money I've never
possibilities.
Even thought.
And I think,
God.
like, I think the business culture almost gets glamorized where it's like, you know, start a business, you have all this money and time off and you do all these things and claim it on tax and all this sort of stuff. But it's just like, no, that's like the tip of the iceberg is what you guys see. But underneath is like the sacrifices and everything in life comes at a cost. What's it cost you?
Cost a lot. Depends what you consider as fun, but I think a lot of people do consider like going out and drinking fun. So if that's fun for you, then you're sacrificing fun. It probably sacrificed a lot of time with friends, a lot of time with family, a lot of time with loved ones, and that's time that you can't get back. And for me, health, I would say as well. It sacrificed everything was sacrificed. Yeah. But I would do it all over again because now I'm at a bit more of a point in time where I can have a bit more time off, or I can have that hopefully day or two. Like I can wake up and go for a walk with my partner, and I don't have to, or I can just take the whole day off and give everything to someone else. Like I have over 50 employees now that work every day in the business. So
it's incredible.
It's
do you ever sit back? Like, are you someone that sits back like we're doing now and reflect and is going, fucking hell, like, look what I've done. Like, do you have time? Do you have that in you at the moment to sort of to sit back and reflect on everything that you've achieved so far? Or are you still, you know, obviously you're still driven and motivated, but are you still constantly looking forward? Maybe down the track you might.
It's important to be grateful, but like right now, I think I'm like right this current moment, I'm very in the grind with everything. But I love purpose. I love being able to wake up and just have something that I'm chasing. Yeah. And that doesn't mean that, I think that people get confused. If you're chasing something, that doesn't mean you're unfulfilled. It doesn't, a lot of people think, oh, you're always chasing, like that's a bad thing. I'm always running. I'm maybe not chasing. Maybe chasing is the wrong word because it feels like you're unfulfilled or you haven't reached a destination where you're happy yet. Like I've been happy.
Do you feel enough?
Do I feel enough? Do I feel enough? Define enough.
Do you feel right now that with everything that you achieved in life, personally, professionally, relationships, everything, if it all stopped, would you be happy? Would you be proud? Would you sit back and go, yeah? I'm not saying that you don't want more. I'm not saying that there's, you know, other things you want to achieve in life. But currently right now,
I would say with everything that's gone on in my life, I would, you know, if morbid, but let's say if I was gone tomorrow, I would say, I'm super content with what I've done. Super content. The only one thing that I haven't done that I'd love to do is family. Like that for me would probably be the most fulfilling.
The best, yeah.
But I haven't had the chance probably to do that as of yet.
We will, mate.
And when I get there, like that, I think that's full content or happiness for me.
Yeah, for sure. And I guess living in Dubai too, you mentioned at the start of this conversation that, you know, you're around money. You're around financial success. How has living in Dubai influenced or motivated you more in business?
Super motivated.
Is it a great environment to be in?
Yeah, I love it. It's not for everyone, Dubai. Like definitely not. And a lot of people that don't like Dubai have never been, which is completely fine. But I would say that, as I was saying to you before, when you do go to dinner and you're at dinner with a guy who made $13 million yesterday at his speaking gig, and you talk to him, and then this guy's 35. He doesn't have a partner. Well, he does, but he's not very very good with them, and then they broke up in the last month or something, and he's sort of jumping around.
You
all
don't
the
need
time.
to give us all the goss.
But I guess like what I'm trying to get to is, yes, he's got this financial success, but he's not successful to me because his relationships are cooked. He's super insecure. He doesn't understand. He had a fantastic girlfriend that he just couldn't manage to keep because he was too busy focusing on other things.
Do you think that impacts their business? I know that they make millions of dollars, and I know financially, but do you believe if you don't have that, that health and that relationship success, do you think that impacts the business?
No, I don't think it does.
I
think it benefits.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I think not. I think if you're in that true grind, like some people are so wired by, interesting perspective. This person specifically, and a lot of people that are quite young and super driven benefit from just being the only person that is super dialed in with things. Yeah. I think the older that you get, the more responsibility you have with family. I see a lot of people that end up, or tell me, again, I don't know because I'm only 26, but I see a lot of people do get a family and they're like, oh, that's going to drive me so much more now because I want to provide for them and provide them a life. For me, I don't want to have to get to that point where I'm kind of like in the dumps with the family. I'm like, I'm not making enough money or I'm not doing enough with all these things. Like I want to do that now so I don't have that thought when I get older,
for sure.
I reckon.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Is
Dubai for you? Do you reckon you'll stay there?
No, not forever. Like not forever. And that was never the point. Like I wanted to go there for 5-10 years. I wanted to experience it. I want to go and travel to different places.
It's served its benefits, hasn't it?
Yeah,
for sure.
And go there and be around that environment because I love
you'll learn
myself.
so much from it as well. Like you'll come
of the
back a different person. Yeah.
It's crazy.
And like you said, all the traveling you've done, around the world, it just your tunnel vision just opens up a little bit wider, and you just go, fucking hell! Like I've learned so much from this. You just take bits and pieces; they're going to benefit you, and it's an incredible thing.
I really not in a bad way, but I do struggle a little bit, kind of having having conversations with people that haven't travelled a lot, and that's not to say that they're any lesser than someone that hasn't travelled or has travelled, but the perspective you gain of the world, as we both know. You just...
It's incomparable.
You just have a different worldview.
Yeah.
Because it's not made up by something on your phone. It's not made up by something in your head. You actually have to go. And some of these places in the Middle East are just incredible. Like when we drove through Oman and Saudi and all these places, it's so different. And the people there are so amazing. They're beautiful, beautiful, amazing people.
That's the first bit of advice I like. Because I left school, went in the army. And
did you really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And my dad was like, he had a rule. He's like, you either go to uni, you get a trade, or you go traveling. Wow. That's the rule when you left school. And like I was sort of flirting with the idea of playing rugby, but I didn't think I was good enough to play. I missed out on all the rep teams. All my mates made all the rep teams, state, Aussies, everything like that. Schoolboys growing up, and I missed out. And I was just like, I'm just not good enough. So I was like, Dad came home from school one day. Like it was in year 12, halfway through year 12, and he was like, threw me this army brochure. He's like, what do you reckon? And I'm like, yeah, righto. And he's like, oh, good, get in the car. And he went straight down the recruitment office and signed me up.
No way.
Yeah, signed me up straight away. And lucky I didn't research, I didn't look up. I went in there full green, didn't understand what was coming, and it was great because if I knew what was coming, I probably would have bailed. But it was like one of the best experiences I've ever had.
What was so hard about it? Was it basic training? Was it like...
like once you finish it, you look back and go, that wasn't that hard. But in the moment,
yep.
You're like 17-year-old. I came from a very loving, sheltered, care family where it's like, there was no hardship.
Yeah.
My dad grew up with hardship. So what he wanted to change as a father, he wanted no hardship in the family. So we got everything, not everything we ever wanted. We weren't well off, but we got everything we needed.
It's almost harder with that upbringing to like be successful
Mate,
in life.
Ease is a greater threat to progress than hardship.
It's so hard. It's because you almost don't. You're not so comfortable, but you're comfortable.
Yeah.
You're comfortable to the fact that you don't actually have to, because you could kind of fall back on, like, if you go back to your parents' house.
Like,
you
we
do
talk
whatever.
about it, and me and Dad have some deep chats about it, because Dad is one of the most motivated humans I've ever met. We talked about it in the sauna. He's 70-something years old, and he's still going at it. Because he had to survive. He had to provide for himself. He had to, like, chase something. Otherwise, he was going to, he wasn't going to make it.
Yeah.
And that's a conversation I have with my father about how am I going to raise my kids where I don't want them to suffer, but I want them to be resilient. I want them to be motivated. I want them to...
How do you find that balance?
How do you find that balance?
Though? That is so difficult.
It's so difficult. But yeah, went into the army, and it was like, 17 years old, living at home, to shaved heads, living in a dorm with 4 people.
You haven't changed, and
I tried to grow it out. I tried to grow it out.
Mate,
I had dreadlocks back in the day too.
Really?
Yeah, back in the day, I had real long hair, all curly. But it was one of the greatest times of my life, where it made me grow up so quickly, thrust into the man's world, where they don't hear your bullshit excuses. They treat you like a man, even if you're a 17-year-old. They treat you like a man. They, they give you a lot of respect. But if you don't aim up, they come down pretty fucking hard.
Wow.
And I loved that experience so much. I was very close to sort of continuing on and making that a career, until I started playing army rugby in there. And one of the sergeants that was the coach, he was like, "What'd you do before this?" And I was like, "Oh, just at school." He was just like, "You ever thought about giving rugby a crack?" And I was like, "Nah, not really." And he's just like, "Mate, all I ever wanted to do was play," I think he wanted to play union or league, can't remember. He goes, I'm 40-something years old, that my time's passed. I'll never be able to give it a go, but I always regret not giving it a go.
Jeez.
And I'm like, righto. And he's like, "Mate, you got an opportunity to leave, give it a crack. If nothing works out, I'll just sign straight back up. You don't have to do basic training. You come straight back in, and you can just have this as a career, but you don't want to get to 40 or 50 like him and regret, or have that thought, what if? Like, what if I gave it a crack?" So I was like, fuck it, good call. Like, you only get small window. As you know, professional sports, you get the smallest window if you're lucky. And I thought, you're right, like, I don't want to get to an age and go, what if? What if I just gave it a crack? And I remember getting out, 6 months later after getting out, I got my first contract, and I was just like, fucking on. And then it was like 10 years of sort of traveling and playing footy. But I really put it down to the maturity and the growth I had as a 17, 18, 19-year-old was going to the military. And it was like, it just, it really, talk about like getting a different perspective or growing up. Like, that would show you real world conflict. Like, shit that you thought, we're in movies. No, that shit's real. Like, a lot of it, and we saw the real every single day, which will get shown, real things that are happening at that time when I was in there. It was Afghanistan and Iraq and stuff. So we saw real stuff every single day, and I was just thinking, man, this is wild. Like, this is you think you're watching a war movie, but it's not. These are real helmet cams of.
How sheltered are we in Australia sometimes? Yeah,
it's incredible how I had a mate that got deployed over in Afghanistan, and he was like, he was at a school in Afghanistan, and all of a sudden, the explosions and gunfight was like 100 meters down the road, and he's just like, there's a school and kids are still playing. No one's running. The kids are still playing, and 100 meters down there, there's a gunfight happening. And I'm just like, and he was telling me it, and he's just like, dude, we drop our kids to school, we pick them up, after we finish, work, and it's just, that's it. But for them, they're used to.
I couldn't believe
the
it,
nervous
mate.
system.
I was sitting in Dubai, and these 3 missiles come over our head, and then you just hear like crack, 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 and I didn't even know you could intercept missiles, but there's interceptors going through, and everyone's sitting there, fucking filming it on their phones, and go back to drinking coconuts.
This is real.
Boys, we're gonna get the fuck out of here. Seriously, there's missiles and shit. And me and Chappie, who's my housemate, who's an Aussie as well, we're just thinking, what is this reaction from everyone? They're just chilling out, and no one even worried. And you get these missile alerts on your phone, and it's just a different experience.
Yeah,
but people there, they trust the government so much. They trust the interceptors and everything so much, and it's
that's their normal.
That's their normal, and you just forget how different some people have it, and some people's upbringings might be, and puts things in perspective.
This episode is brought to you by TLC Recovery Centre on the Sunshine Coast. Head to TRC Sunshine Coast, use the code TRC15MYH to receive 15% off and experience it for yourself.
No, I would love to get your thoughts. And that's all right. And just your opinions around social media, and like we talked a little bit about before, how you do have like a large presence online. You do have a lot of influence online. Do you feel like you have an obligation or responsibility to be that positive role model? I know we talked about the young men, and you're like, what's young? What is young? But I know a lot of you have a younger audience that look up to you. Do you feel like a pressure or a responsibility to be that positive role model? Do you look at it like that, or are you just being authentically you?
I think for me it's a really good wake up call sometimes when I actually do go out and just in public doing whatever it is, and you do get young 15 or 16 or even younger 9-year-olds come up to you and go, oh, love your content kind of thing, and it's sometimes a bit of a wake up call, like, fuck are you doing watching my content, bro? Like, come on, bro, you're too young. But like, I think that sometimes when you do pick up a phone and you start filming yourself, you've got to think about that 9-year-old kid. But I also think it's my responsibility to not just be positive. I think it's also my responsibility to be honest and to be negative sometimes, because the world out there isn't positive. It's not going to be all positive. There are negatives, there are hardships, there are things that you're going to go through as a 12-year-old, 13, 14-year-old that you have to be aware of. And if it's not spoken about by your role models, then when it comes to fruition, you're kind of like, I didn't expect this to be what the world's like. I didn't expect to get beaten down. I didn't expect to get this hardships pushed towards me. I didn't expect my parents to get separated. I didn't expect porn to be so prevalent in my life. Like, these things happen, and these things are going to occur to most young men as they go through. 24, 25-year-olds, the exact same kind of thing. You have to, and it's really hard because you can't speak to a 9-year-old the same way you speak to a 24-year-old because they're going through different things. So how do you post content that helps and prepares a 9-year-old for the world, but also prepares a 24 or 35-year-old for the world? Because your content isn't going to be, hey, this is for 9-year-olds.
It'll be relevant for everyone.
Hey, this is for 16-year-olds. Only 16-year-olds watch this. Hey, only 24-year-olds watch this. How do you actually make sure that your content is hitting the right people at the right time? I've got 50 and 60-year-old followers. How do what I post about life and hardship and reality affect them the same way that it affects the 15-year-old? It's really hard. It's really hard because they're all going through different things in their life. So it does become difficult. And to answer your question, yes, I do feel like it's a responsibility, and yes, I do want to be as positive as possible, but also want to be a realist. Also want to be.
You don't want to sugarcoat anything or bubble wrap it, because I think in today's society, and especially with parents, it's so prevalent to see helicopter parents, or just see them sort of don't want their child to go through any harm, or they're trying to protect them so much that it's actually harming them as they get older. Because then the realities of life, like you said, you're not going to get everything you ever wanted. You're not going to get everything because your mum and dad got it, or you're not going to, no life is going to go the way that you think it's going to go. We're testaments to that. Like, we're probably doing things that we didn't think that we'd be able to do, 10, 15 years ago. So I think, like you said, the ability to be resilient, the ability to adapt, the ability to, it's okay to have, if you want to have a little bit of whinge for about 15 minutes and then get on with it and then get back to it.
What I want to do is I want to be able to prepare people for the challenge that does come. And how do you deal with that in terms of your mindset? And it's the fact that if you get hit down, you get back up. It's a fact that sometimes if you're not invited, don't go. If you're struggling with something, look, that's all right. But at the same time, no one's going to come fucking save you. You're in this world, and at the end of the day, it's you. It's your own head against your own head. And if you actually want to fucking succeed and do something in your life, you're not going to get there by pity. People pitying you and going, poor you, is not going to solve your fucking problems. You're going to have to deal with your problems head on. You're going to have to deal with your fucking challenges, and you're going to have to push through those challenges and push through those barriers if you want to have a good life.
100%. I couldn't have said any better because you see a lot of the pity and the sympathy is just attention. People want attention, and I understand that because I've been through that stage. I know some sort of family members and friends that are still going through that stage where they're craving the pity.
Victim.
They're craving it because they get the attention, but they don't actually want to do the work to make them feel better. They want to sort of go in this perpetual cycle of, feeling victim, getting the attention, and then sort of circulate again. And I'm just thinking, and I understand it. I've been through it. I know what it feels like, but I also
100%.
know how to get through the other side too. And it's fucking hard.
It is fucking hard.
You confront things in you that you push down and you never want to see. But it's the best advice anyone ever gave me was just to push through with it because I have the life I have now because I pushed through with it. And there were years where I was telling you before that I broke up with a girlfriend of mine for no reason. I was blaming everyone else. It wasn't until I looked in the mirror and pointed the finger at me and actually, like you said, started doing the work. It's not going to change overnight, and people want that quick fix. We live in today's society where we want it
Instant
now.
dopamine.
We want it now. We want to be, but it's the journey. You can. I'm sure you agree with that. It's not the destination most of the time. It's who you become in that journey. And I think that the road to hardship, like that road through hardship that I went through, even though that every single day I was just like, why me? I was just like, but every day I got on with it. But I had moments where I was like, why me? And then I was just thinking, no, just get through tomorrow. And then everything was like, get through tomorrow, and then get through the next day.
That's
get
the
through
language.
The next day.
That's the language that I always tell people. It's like, why me? It's why me. It's not why me. It's fucking lucky me.
Yeah.
Lucky I'm being challenged like this. And people always, and I use the thing, why me? People say, poor me.
Yeah.
Poor me. Yeah. Poor me. Lucky you.
Yeah.
Lucky you that fucking life has thrown a challenge your way and you get the opportunity to respond. I injured my back at the start of the year. And yes, I was unhappy and I was disappointed, but I also said, fuck yeah, I get a chance to respond to this. I get a chance to come back from this. The bigger the setback, the bigger the comeback.
For sure.
And so many people just continue to say, poor me, poor me. Life is going to throw challenges at you. How the fuck are you going to deal with them?
Yeah. There's a sort of a culture going around at the moment where they talk about, the toxic masculinity.
I'm interested. Yeah. Interesting point. Let's. Do
you want to go into that? Because it's just a conversation I have a lot with parents that message me. They talk about, ask me questions around young boys, say, adolescents, going through that puberty, understanding what masculinity is and having these healthy role models to aspire towards. And when we grew up, I'm not too sure, I'm a couple of years older than you, but when I grew up, my role models were athletes.
Sports stars,
like,
of course.
They're all my, rugby heroes. They're the men that I looked up to. Whereas today's society, it's a lot of the social media. It's the TikTokers. It's all that sort of stuff. And I don't know if you've watched the documentary.
The Manosphere
Yeah,
one.
did you watch it?
Yeah.
I watched it not too long ago, and I just thought it was so eye-opening to me that I was very out of touch because I had no idea who those people were.
Yeah,
no
I
idea.
definitely know who they are.
Oh, you knew who
honestly,
they were?
I see their content and I've always thought their content is kind of funny.
Yeah.
But I've never thought of them as role models. Like I've thought I've thought of them as entertainers. Like they're doing that for a reason. But again, I am a bit older. I'm not 14 or 15. But I don't know if 14 or 15-year-olds are watching their content thinking, I want to be like them. I swear they look at them, it's entertaining. Like it's kind of funny what they post sometimes, but then the deeper you delved into their beliefs and the reason they put that content out, it kind of made, and I watched it with my girlfriend.
Yeah, she was fuming.
Well, she was just like, because I've been compared to some of these people. Like some people will say, oh, you're in the manosphere. And I was like, I've never even known what the manosphere was, to be honest, until I watched that documentary. And then I was like, you can't compare me to these fucking weirdos. Hey. And then, I don't know, I was just like, I was blown away that I just aligned with absolutely nothing that they had to say. I align with wanting to better. This is the issue that I have, right? That if you're a guy on social media and you want men to better themselves and go to the gym and be healthy and live a healthy lifestyle, then you're put in that box.
Yeah.
It's
not the same.
Not the same. But completely different beliefs with like the one-sided monogamy and all of these just things.
Sexist and homophobic and all that.
Sexist, homophobic. That's just not at all the way that that I have ever seen the world. And I don't like it when people use these buzzwords of like toxic masculinity or manosphere or all these kind of things. It's like, fucking define what you actually mean by that, because you can't just say these buzzwords or like homophobic, misogynistic. It's like, what does that actually mean? Because if you really define the terms and then give examples, there's a mismatch sometimes.
You seem very confident and secure in who you are as a man. However, do you find that harmful when people paint you the same brush as those people, even though you know who you are?
Yeah. I mean, no, because I know who I am.
Okay.
Right? Like,
you don't lose sleep over it or anything like that?
No, that's the thing. Anyone can say whatever they want about me. And that's probably a big change that I've had in the last 24 months, probably the last 2 years, where if someone was willing to say, oh, you're this or oh, you're that, I know who I am. So it doesn't affect me. It doesn't affect me in the slightest. I'm so confident and comfortable with the person I am. My family, the closest people to me ever, and they love me and they know who I am. My partner, my friends, I don't really care about anyone else.
What's your this question someone asked me the other day? I thought it was quite interesting. What's your definition of a good man?
Well, I was gonna ask you to define masculinity.
Yeah.
Because
that, you know, there's so many. So I think this is what I get a lot, because they go, oh, well, you show your feminine side because you like to talk about your emotions and your feelings and stuff like that, and you're very, you know, you don't mind getting vulnerable, you don't mind, you know, opening up. And I thought, well, that's great, thank you, but it's also taken away from the fact that they're actually masculine qualities too.
Yeah.
They're not just feminine.
Yeah.
So I think when you look at masculine, it's always portrayed as this dominator or this security or this provider or this, you know, aggressive or standover-ish or like, you know, manly man. But when you think of traits like vulnerability and emotional awareness and emotional regulation, that's always thrown to the feminine. And I go, no. No, that's my version of masculinity, where you've got the two sides, where you're able to stand up for your beliefs. You know, you're not a nice man, you're a good man. There's a difference between those two. You're very assured of yourself. You can regulate your own emotions, but you also have that gentle side where you can resolve conflict without fights.
Yep.
You can resolve arguments. You can have deep conversations without personal attacks. You can, you know, you can control yourself. You know, you can control your emotions. That's my version of masculinity, where there are multiple aspects of it, and when it gets like all those gentle emotions, all those aspects get thrown into feminine, I'm like, no, you're taking away what true masculinity is. It's not just like, you know, the hard bravado that we see on socials all the time.
I think that a lot of people are confused about what masculinity actually is, and everyone has different definitions of it. So when I ask people to define the term of masculinity, they will go with strong, aggressive, tough. I'm like, that's not masculinity. Like, I think that you have the wrong definition. And this is what I always ask people. I'm like, can you actually define with what you actually mean? So we can get to the bottom of what we're talking about. Because if you say, oh, that's not masculine, and I say that it is, but our definitions are completely misaligned, then how can we ever have a good conversation about anything? It's impossible, because
Got to be open-minded, don't you?
100%.
Yeah.
And you don't know what you're talking about. So to your question, what is a good man? I would go back to the triangle. I would go back to someone that has good relationships with their family, with their friends. I'll go back to someone that is fit and healthy. And people sometimes think that fit and healthy means you have to have a six-pack and big arms. That's not what I mean when I say that. I mean, you're strong, but that doesn't necessarily have to be in the gym. It doesn't mean you bench press 100 kilos, right?
Yeah.
And then I also think that you have financial success. And financial success doesn't mean $1 million. Financial success means you can provide for the people around you. You can provide for your family. You can provide for your partner. You can provide for your kids. Obviously, is difficult in this day and age. I will level with people. Like, sometimes you do need two people to earn in order to look after the family. And that's fine. And there's nothing wrong with that, and it doesn't make you less masculine that happens. But I think that having those three things in your life does, in my opinion, make you a good man. And everyone's fucking opinion is different. That's fine. That doesn't mean that people have to come at me for my opinion. No. I have to go at them. It's like, that's an opinion. An opinion's not fact, and you're entitled to your own opinion, and you're probably not going to change other people's opinions.
Yeah, that's difficult, eh? Like it's, one of the most masculine, manly men was a guy that I used to play rugby with that he would run through a brick wall for you, right? But at the same time, you would ask him, you'd catch up with him over the weekend or after the game or even before the game, and you would ask him about his kids, and that's his pride and joy. Similar to like how you're sort of talking that once you have a family, like you'll feel not complete, but you feel like
that's the cherry on top. Cherry on top.
And he would, and you would talk about his kids. He got two at the time. He had 2 young boys and a young girl, and he would cry openly towards you about how much he loves being a dad. But then all of a sudden, like an hour ago, he was just bashing someone on the field, right? But then you see him, and he had no shame. There was no embarrassment. There was nothing like that. He was so confident and assured of who he was as a man that he would openly just cry in front of you and tell you, it's just in a random cafe setting. Yeah. He'd be like, how's your family going? He goes, oh, mate, I love it. I love watching him grow up. I love connecting with my little girl. I love teaching, being a role model to my boys. And you see tears coming out of his face. And I go, beautiful. Mate, you love it. And he goes, mate, it's my greatest achievement. It's my greatest joy. And I look at him and I go, mate, you're it, because you've got that side where you can, be that tough male figure, but you've got this other side too, where you have no shame and embarrassment at just shedding a tear about how much you love your family, where it's so easy for men just to be like, oh yeah, it's...
And these people that, and let's talk about that Manosphere documentary, all of them didn't grow up with a father figure. So their version of masculinity is completely different. And if I ask them to define what masculinity is, and then I define my term of masculinity, we would be so misaligned on so we couldn't get to the bottom of what actually masculinity is, or what you see as a good man or a bad man, because they've never had that role model. And the issue is, like, what I truly do think that documentary showed was that the role models now for kids, on the male role models for that people, are people that didn't grow up with male role models. So you're passing down which again comes back to my point of being a good dad and being a good father. So then the generations after have good role models. Because if kids are growing up with role models that didn't have role models, well, that's just a slippery slope.
100%. That's one of the things that I noticed too with everyone. I'm like, oh, they're all got dad issues. They've all got
daddy issues.
They've all like haven't had a father figure in their life. And I fully respect with people listening right now that are single parents and mums that are trying to be that role. They're trying to be the mother and father, and I completely empathise with that. But it does come with if a child, especially a boy, when they're searching for that male figure in their life, and if they haven't got it, they'll find it in other things in their life, and especially in today's society when there's so much influence on social media that if there is a lost, insecure boy trying to find that figure in their life, if they can't find it in their life, they will find it online. Yeah. And that's where you see a lot of it now. And that's why these young kids, a lot of the kids that are following these types of influences, they're just as lost and insecure as the influencers themselves. And like you said, it's that perpetuating cycle of like you're just passing down the generational trauma, and it's a wild thing, and it's so hard for us to not judge, but it's so hard for us to talk about, even though we're not parent ourselves. And
that's the thing that I'm always very careful, especially on podcasts when people ask me about like family or this. I'm like, guys, I'm 26, so don't take any advice that I have for family, because I've never done it yet. So I can talk about all these beautiful things. I want to have a family, I want to do this. Yes, that's my goal, but at the end of the day, I haven't done it. So I've got no good advice to sort of give on it. And then people ask me about relationships as well. Sometimes a podcast, I'm like, yes, I have a beautiful girlfriend, an amazing relationship. I'd love to have a family with her, but like I also am 26. I don't have these. If you want relationship advice, ask an 80-year-old who's been married for 60 years. They'll probably be better to talk to.
Did the backlash, and we don't have to talk about this.
No, let's talk about it.
Sure?
I'm very happy to talk about it. It's super prevalent, so I'm more than happy.
It's just interesting, like, because I read the whole thing.
Yeah.
Right. You know, and I was looking at that and I go, that's like everything that you were sort of the advice or offering or saying. I was like, I did that.
Yeah.
You know, but I think
So did I. That's the thing. Like, I did it and it made my life
better.
20 times better.
I did it 5-6 years ago, and I was just thinking, yeah, I get that. Like all the distractions in life, everything that you don't need. Like that's what I did, and it made my life a ton better. And I think it was really interesting to see why it sort of got the backlash that it got. And I was trying to understand: did people actually read the caption? Did people actually read, or do they just sort of, because there's a carousel of photos, and it was just like the hook. And people were sort of like, you did your job, good. You got the hook.
Too well, clearly. Too well.
And it really it really sparked an interest with people that already had a hidden agenda or a bias, or, you know, they would see, I think you said something about you don't need to be following like OnlyFans girls or porn stars.
Effectively.
And, I'm like, that's...
base advice.
That's,
yep.
You know, I know that now.
Yeah.
As a 35-year-old, I'm like, that's great. Like, that's...
How much better would your partner feel if you're not, like, if your partner's going on Instagram just saying your name
Liking.
under girls that are wearing bikinis or whatever, like, that aren't your friends, right? So you don't know these girls. Let's make that clear. Like, if they're your friend and you've been friends with them for 30 years or whatever, completely fine.
Yeah.
But if you're just going on a random girls and you're liking their bikini photos, and it's quite funny because if the way I worded myself, 100%, not very detailed or very good. But I do wonder if that advice came from another girl, if the reaction, I know the reaction is different because I've seen other pieces of content about it from other girls. And it's kind of like, is it just an agenda against me and the way that I was trying to give the advice, which I do. Again, I've done it. I know it changed my life. It made my life 100 times better. But I do agree the way I worded myself was poor. And it was kind of, I didn't expect it to go as viral as it did. I kind of just like tapped it out. I was like, yep, cool, done. Posted, and then, wow, all of a sudden people spun it.
Yeah, I don't think it was necessarily you individually. I think you got painted as the brush with the whole group of manosphere influencers that are misogynistic or hating on women, and they'll take a little bit of, you should unfollow, these girls that are OnlyFans or in porn, or people you don't know, and just start liking their photos, like, you should just unfollow it. And it was just like, oh, Prime Train hates women. Yeah. And it was like that conversation or that post was hijacked and thrown into the bubble of these other male influencers that are bad role models, and you just got sort of chucked into that because someone sort of clipped that up and went, oh yeah, that's my interpretation of it. Exactly. That's how I see it. So he hates women. And I'm like, no. That's actually not the intention at all.
It's also like the respect for your partner or the respect for your family or anything isn't considered in that conversation as well. For me, if I have a girlfriend, or even if I don't really, I don't want to be the guy under every girl's photos, or every time you go to follow a girl, it's followed by this guy. And it's just not a picture that I want to paint for myself. And if I'm the bad guy for that, I'm actually really happy. I'm okay with that because that's what I believe in. And at least I wasn't posting something that I don't believe or 50% believe in. Like, I've done the hard yards. I've done the work in order to have that opinion about things. And if you don't like it and you don't want to do it, that's fine. You don't have to.
Dude, and it really sort of challenged me a little bit because I was sort of keeping up with the content because I was really trying to understand people's opinions and their views. I was like, I really want to understand what's actually what are people thinking here. And a girl was saying it's very dangerous because when you remove people that aren't in your circle, that you find negative or if you find distracting, a girl was like, well, you're creating an echo chamber of people with the same views as you. And I was thinking, all right, well, that could be true if it's a negative thing. You could get into an echo chamber of women hating groups because there are out there. But you need to actually understand context behind it, understand that's not you. That's not what you're doing. I have my own circle. I've got my own circle and I remove toxic behaviors. I remove people that are distracting or are negative. I don't want that in my circle. So I understand what the post was.
Yeah.
I understand that.
But it was also removing other distractions like drinking.
Yes.
There was other distractions like your phone.
Yeah.
But we focused on one thing, which is the female side
Female
of things.
side of it.
Which I found interesting because there wasn't as much of a hoo-ha about me saying not drinking. There wasn't much of a hoo-ha about me saying get off your phone.
Or drugs or anything like
drugs,
that.
nothing. It's all focused on the women's side of things. So yeah, it definitely changed my perspective a lot of, I think of just content in general, how it can be spun so quickly and you can really be caught out and kind of caught in the storm of it all. But again, like, I mean, I was lucky. I was kind of in Dubai at the time, so I didn't see as many TikToks and stuff that people were sending me all this stuff, and it wasn't even on my newsfeed, even though it was about me. Like I was in a different algorithm, so I wasn't even really watching it too much. But yeah, it's just something that you have to be careful of. I think that it is your responsibility to ensure that you explain yourself with things, and I think as well for me, if I'm going to do a post like that, it needs to be better. It needs to be better explained, but at the same time, if it's better explained, it doesn't get clicks. It doesn't get hits. At the end of or what you're always taught in social media is you hook the viewer in, and you hope to God that they read the caption, because any news article, movie star dies, Daily Mail. You click on the link and it's someone you've never fucking heard of before. But it's a hook. It gets you to read the story.
Yeah.
And you click on the link and you read the story.
Yeah.
People took it too much at face value and they didn't read the story about it. And yeah, I want to be very, very clear that like, I'm not saying unfollow every girl that you know. Like that is never what I was saying. And people sometimes comment on me, think, you're the guy that said unfollow every girl. No, that's not what I said. I said unfollow probably girls that you don't know that you're gawking over on Instagram and Facebook. Like as a guy, you just don't need to do it. Your partner doesn't want to see if you get onto your phone and it's girls in bikini photos or whatever it is on your explore page. They don't want to see that. Like a girl does not want to see that. And they don't want to see your name underneath other girls' photos a lot of the time. And it's just good for your own mental health. Like if you're a guy, you have a beautiful partner, she is it. You shouldn't be looking at other girls. And you can change it. It was like, it's a distraction. And why do you see women this way as a distraction? It's like, it's not about that. It's just, I have one focus and it's my own partner and I want to be respectful to her and want her to be safe and secure in the relationship. And I don't want her to ever think that I'm looking in different directions as other girls. I want her to know that it's only her that I care about, and no other girl's opinion should come above your partner. It's your partner's opinion. If she doesn't want you liking other girls' photos, even if she does, your focus should be on your partner and making her feel safe, secure, and happy. And that's my goal.
Perfectly said. And I wonder if it was the shoe was in the other foot and it was girls doing that to their partners and liking all topless guys or all those sort of things. Like, how would that make you feel? So it's the same thing, man. And I love that you explained it so perfectly then. Is that one of the biggest sort of lessons you've learned during that time is I guess the ability to explain yourself?
Yeah.
Because like, you know, no way did you ever think it was going to cause, you know, the backlash that it did. And it makes you sort of rethink about, you know, how I interpret things or how people interpret what I say. And yes, maybe I've got to like, obviously the hooks are there to reel you in.
The hooks are there to hook.
But please read the caption. Please read the caption.
Yeah.
You know, and it's crazy because, you know, we live in a world today where it's like, it's so easy to be misunderstood. You know, it's so easy to get labeled things that you're not, or, you know, people think you're a different version than you are. What would you say to sort of your younger audience when it comes to being misunderstood or when it comes to being judged online or perceived a certain way online?
Good.
Yeah, I love that.
You should be misunderstood.
Yeah.
If you want to be great and you want to do something in your life, you are not going to be understood by the common person. Like that sounds so bad, but like if you think you're going to be great and understood, you're stupid. Because there is a reason that there is such a small percentage of people that are great and such a large percentage of people that are normal. If you want to be normal, you're going to be understood. You'll be the same as everyone else. If you want to be that 1%, 2%, 3%, 5%, you want to be that group that's in the top echelon of people, And when I say that, I don't mean financial. I mean, these days we have a 50% divorce rate. We have people that are so disorganized in I think 60% of people are overweight or obese. I think more, 75% of people are overweight or obese over the age of 25.
Yeah.
Like, it's not that hard to be great. In the top percentage of people, like, just you have to be in shape and you have to have a good, if that's what you want to have a good family and be married, and stay with it and stick with it. Like, I consider that being great. I consider that as you're great. And you're going to be misunderstood by a lot of people that think it's okay to watch porn when you have a partner or cheat on your partner and do all these kind of things. Like, people are going to think that that's okay. Most people will. So if you're misunderstood, good. That's the price that you pay in order to be great. It's being understood by people. It's the price you pay.
Love that. Absolutely love that. Have you gone through your own struggles with your mental health? I know that you're in Dubai when this whole thing kicked off, so you didn't really pay attention to it too much. But I think all of us will go through moments in our lives where our mental health needs attention.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone's safe from it. It all affects us in different ways. And, my 10 out of 10 could be different to your 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
What's been sort of the hardest moment that you've gone through?
The worst thing and the hardest thing, and it was so prevalent because I was really, really thinking about it today as we drove through, because it's where I used to live. But I had my best mate when I was 21. We went to college together. We lived together. He was killed by a drunk driver on the way home from a night out. We were all there.
I remember that.
And Henry Jennings. Greatest fucking bloke in the history of the world. Could not be a greater bloke. And losing him was probably, it's funny because we were talking about it, how at the time you don't know how bad it is. You don't know how much you're struggling. You kind of just say, to remember Henry, I was going to go drink, I was party, vape, or go out all the time. And that was almost the way of numbing the pain. And it's because what we did together, we were at college, we drink a lot, we party, we had so much fun. And I kind of thought I was doing it in memory of him. And that was, and I was playing VFL level football, so quite high level football, like just one below the AFL. And I was going out before games, I was getting on the piss, I was like...
It's how you dealt with it.
It's how I dealt with it. And then after the game, again, I would just go out. And I was probably really, really lost and misaligned with exactly what I wanted in my life. And that was probably the most difficult time and period because I had, you lose your best mate. You lose your best mate and you don't really know how to recover or repair from that. But no one's going to come fucking save you.
Yeah, we're not taught how to handle grief.
Yeah.
And grief affects us, everyone, in all different ways. And it comes and goes and there's no linear road to recovery or to get over or to get through something. So, as a young boy, where you're 21, like no one can come up and tell you like, oh, in a couple of months' time you'll feel a lot better.
Yeah.
Or like, do this, you'll feel a lot better. You're just like, so you're figuring it out.
Even the people that you go to for the best advice, like your parents potentially, like they've never lost their best friend when they were 20 or like the people that you go to for advice who might be your parents, they've never gone through that. So they can't give advice. It's like me giving advice on marriage. Like I can't give advice. I've never done it. Yeah. So why would you listen to them?
How did you get through it? Like was it a time thing? Did you sort of stumble your way through that time with sort of numbing the pain?
I just needed purpose. I just needed something else to work towards.
Yeah,
I think for me, I needed purpose and I needed responsibility. And you just got to find another way to punch through life. Like I keep saying, no one was there to say, no one's going to come and cuddle you and you're going to feel better all of a sudden. Like you have to go out there and do the work in order to build up that, in order to build up the authenticity, in order to build up the proof that you are who you say you are. You need to build that back again and be like, I know who the fuck I am. And you look in the mirror and you're like, I know I know I'm Tom Baulch. Like that's me, and I know what I stand for, and it doesn't matter what anyone has to say. Like I'm that guy.
Did that moment change your sort of outlook on life, or made you really focus on what you want out of life?
Definitely, it's when I started pandemic training.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So probably 6 months later, when I talk about responsibility and redirect and purpose, that's when I realised that I needed to redirect my energy into something, pain into something. And Prime Train, while I'm sitting right here now, is
I'm
because
sure
of
I'd be
that.
pretty proud of you, eh?
Yeah, it's oh, give me shivers thinking about it. Like it's every time I come back, I see his parents, Pete and Al, and they're just a single child, like who's their only child, and it's great coming back and seeing them because I see so much of him in them. But they're just the most beautiful people in the world, and it's crazy.
Do you talk about that with them? Like,
oh yeah, all the time.
Oh,
they love it. They love hearing the stories about him. It's so funny because there's like some times where we're at college together, and he'd call up his mum and go, "Ow, mum, look, I need an extra $100 for the week. I've got no food left. Like the food at the college is shit house. Like, please, I just need $100." And I'll be like, "Yep, yeah, Henry, yes, my love, yes." Or send him $100, then we buy more FIFA points. We play more time on PS4.
Do you tell her that?
Yeah. She loves it. She was like, "He's a cheeky little boy. He always was. He always had me under his thumb." But she loves those stories. They love those stories.
Keeping
They
that
want to
memory
hear
alive,
that.
isn't it? Like that's.
Yeah.
And I'm sure he'll stay with you. Like I'm sure that grief that I'm sure you're still feeling it now. Every time you sort of see them, that feeling still come up, and there'll be moments in your life where, you know, things remind you of him, and you kind of hope that stays with you. Like you kind of hope that the memory of him, the love for him, was going to stay with you.
I feel like a part of him is always within me because he the grief started what I'm doing now probably, and every time that we talk about it, especially like I talk about it a lot, and I love talking about it because if you stop talking about it, then you lose the memory, and people lose the memory. So it's something that I feel comfortable talking about, and I want to talk about because it's such a big part of my life, and I miss him every day. Yeah,
it's a beautiful thing because I know I went through when I was 20. My best mate's father passed away, took his own life.
Wow.
And he was our rugby coach. Me and my best mate were born one day apart, so we had shared birthdays for like a whole life. We still do shared birthdays now.
Wow.
Like so, and we're 20 years old, and he took his own life, and it was none of us knew that he was struggling. None of us knew any of that. We're all 20 years old, and having to go through that for the very first time of losing someone, and then watching a family that, you know, you would call your own, that let you into their own house, that our families were so close, and to see them struggle and to see them go through so much pain, you know, for years, and even to this day, like, you know, they've all the children, and, you know, they're all doing incredible things now, but the pain will never go, I don't think. Like, you know, I chat to my mate Brock about it, and like they end up selling their house because they just couldn't stay in the house, and like we'll drive past the street sometimes around the corner here, and I'll go, do you have good memories from that house, or do you have bad memories now because of what happened and how you guys, you know, just wanted to leave and you wanted a fresh start? And I understand that. And he goes, no, we have good memories. Like, we drove past that street, and he goes, I remember all the times we just sneak out of the house and go to house parties and all that sort of stuff. And I go, so the memories, you know, the good stuff outweighs, you know, that pain and the suffering that you guys went through towards the end. And he goes, every day of the week. Like, I understand that what happened with my dad wasn't him. It was an illness. It took over. It's just like, you know, cancer or anything like that. It was an illness, and it wasn't him. And he had to really accept and come to the terms that his dad didn't leave him because he didn't love him, you know, because you can always look at that and you go, well, why couldn't the love stick around? Like, why couldn't he just stick around for us? You know, he loved us. And I remember not too long before it happened, his father was telling me, Elliot, I love my kids. I would do anything for my kids. I wish all my kids will stay in this house and we'll all live together under this house. And that conversation sort of came to the forefront when obviously he took his own life, and I thought, man, he was just telling me a couple of months ago that he loves his family and all that sort of stuff, and I was really like trying to comprehend the pain that he was going through to outweigh the love that he was saying he had for his family, and Brock was saying, mate, this wasn't him. It was an illness, it was a disease, and going through that grief and going through that, like obviously what you've gone through yourself, no one tells you how to handle it. You don't know how to navigate it. I did the drugs and alcohol. I went really into numbing it because I thought that was the only thing that was making me feel good. It was the only thing that was clearing the noise out of the head. So we all just got on it. But at the same time, I wasn't emotionally aware to talk to Brock and be like, mate, how are you feeling? And he came on the podcast like last year. And it was the first time, and it was 10 years since his dad passed away. And it was the first time that we sat down like this, and I was like,
talked about it.
Mate, do you want to talk about it?
Wow.
You know, and I told him I regretted not saying, like, not bringing it up earlier, and because I didn't want to bring up any bad memories. I didn't want to be like, so how's your dad? And him sort of go, well, how do you fucking think it is? Even though he would never do that, I was replaying, you know, future scenarios that never played out and going, no, I don't want to bring that. I'll just try to distract him. So every time I was around him, let's go play golf, let's go to the gym, let's go do this, let's go anything else. But I think, you know, there were moments where I should have sat down and just said, hey, mate, how you feeling with it? Like, how you going? Like, do you want to talk about anything? And it got to a point where we did a podcast together where we did an hour and a half episode where I was like, let's just talk about it, because these are the things I regretted. And, you know, we're all young and we don't have that emotional awareness or to emotional maturity to ask those questions and sit with it. Even though that's uncomfortable. Like, it's probably uncomfortable you talking about him, but you did it anyway. Because you know, like, even though there's a little bit of like, you know, pain and suffering and sadness there, you know, it's going to help someone hearing this. So there is good when it comes to talking about these things that are painful. And that's the thing that I'm trying to like get across doing this is we shouldn't avoid these difficult conversations. They're worthwhile conversations. You know, the conversation we just had now is going to help someone. So I don't want to sit with regret now that, you know, I could have said something to Brock, you know, 10 years ago and sat him down and be like, oh, hey, mate. Like,
do you regret that, not talking about it 10 years ago?
Yeah. I think about it a lot. I think about there's so many scenarios where, you know, I'm in the car with Brock and we're driving to the gym and it's just silence. It's just fucking silence. And I just feel like saying, mate, you don't even have to say, I don't even have to say anything. I don't need to give advice. I don't need to do anything. I just need to say, mate, how you going? A voice to listen to, like a skill that men, and if you're mates with some of your best mates, if you're really true friends, like learn the art just to listen. Yeah. You don't need to fix everyone's problems. You don't need to give everyone advice. Just ask them how you're going and stay in it. Even if it gets cringe and it gets emotional and it gets awkward, stay in it. Because what you'll get out of that, you'll get most of the time an honest, true answer. You're going to help your mate. You're going to help you. And you're going to bring yourself closer together. Like, I've just met you today. Yeah. But it feels like we're already closer together 100%. After we're doing this for almost 2 hours. So they're the things that I really want to get across to, especially men. I know women. It doesn't feel like 2 hours. Yeah. I better wrap it up. It does. It's just like, I don't know. I could talk forever. But they're the sort of memories that I look back on and go, man, I wish I'd done something different there. Yeah. It's a really interesting thing, and I was going to touch on when you said giving advice, like listen and don't have to give advice all the time. Don't have to give a solution. It's something that I learned probably from the women in my life, my sister and my girlfriend, especially my sister, because she will be like, oh, I'm dealing with this and dealing with that. And I'm so used to giving advice because I'm a coach and because people on social media always ask me for advice. People pay me for me to give them advice. So I'm so used to giving advice. I'm like, how about you try to do this? How about you do this? And then she's like, oh, I don't want your advice. I'm like, no, but like you could do this and do this. And she's like, I want you to be my brother. I don't want you to be my coach. And my girlfriend's the same. I want you to be my boyfriend. I don't want you to be my coach. I just want to have someone there to talk to, and I want to be able to tell you my problems. And it's so hard for me I don't know if it's a guy thing or if it's just me as a person,
but I'm always trying to find a solution to every problem. And it's entrepreneurial, I think, as well. Like problem, solution, like throughout my whole life. But it's not your job. And it's same with your friends, all of your friends, and your parents as well. Like sometimes they don't want advice. They just want someone to talk to and to listen.
They just want to be seen and heard a lot of the time. And like,
as do you and I probably. And we probably don't even know it.
Yeah. And so me and my wife, we've got this thing where I'm the exact same way. She'll come, she's got an issue going on with her life. I'll be like, sweet, let's break it down. This is what we need to be doing. And a lot of the time she was like, can you just listen? And I'm like, yeah, sweet, no worries.
So hard.
So we've got this thing now where if she comes to me with a problem, I say, is this when I listen or is this where I fix? And 9 times out of 10, she goes, this is when you listen. And I'm like, gotcha.
Don't even ask from now on, just listen.
Yeah. So now I just listen. If she needs anything, if she wants advice, she'll ask for it. And like if she's more open and I'm more understanding, and now I can just sit and listen and I go, all right, well I don't need to say anything. You know, she can also handle herself. She can, sort out her own shit.
Yeah.
And if she needs it, I'm always here for it. But yeah, it's an interesting thing with the partners because I'm the exact same. I'm always like, yeah, it's easy fix.
Let's do this.
Yeah.
Like, no.
Yeah.
Just want you to listen.
Mate, thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate chatting to you and getting to know you more on a personal level. You're a great bloke.
Thank you.
You're doing incredible things, and you're also, you're a real inspiration and someone that I look up to, especially in the business world. And in terms of me wanting to grow this podcast and look at it as a business, I said to you before, I'm trying to get out of mining. It's run its course. It's served its purpose. It's provided me with time and financial freedom to be able to do this podcast. So hearing you talk about business, I'd love to sort of bash you a bit later on.
Bro, I love it. I could sit down for an hour and just go, let's map this out. Let's find a solution.
And that's the goal, man. So I do have some quick fire questions to finish off. So as quickly or as long as you want. What are your 3 non-negotiables for living a healthy and full life?
Non-processed food, lifting heavy, relationships.
Love that. If you could go back to a time in your life, where would you go and why?
Living on a farm, kicking the footy with my dad after school.
Yes, love that. What makes you happy? Or is happiness something that you chase?
Being with my family.
I might know the answer to this. What's been the hardest day of your life?
I remember when I got the news, I was spastic, so I didn't know how to deal with it. I was like, "Wow, how am I gonna deal with this?"
Because it was New Year's, wasn't it?
New Year's, New Year's, and I was like off my face. Like obviously, New Year's, 21-year-old, like you're having the time of your life.
Because he went to school with Jordan, my wife.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah.
Oh no way. Yeah. That was probably the time where my heart dropped like the most. And you're sober. You go from being like completely wild to like straight away you're like sober and you're dealing with these things. You're like, whoa, like that happened so quick. Probably New Year's.
I did have a question. How have you defined success, but financial, health and relationships?
Would you define success similar?
Yeah. Like I 100% like health definitely.
Am I missing something in there? Or does those 3 encapsulate? Because I'm always interested.
So success for me wasn't about, I know you say financial success, and it's not about dollars. I want people to know that it's not about, you don't need to be a billionaire.
Exactly.
Okay? You don't have to be like that. Because I always thought, people would be like, oh, he makes a load of money. And I'm like, he's so successful. And I go, why is he successful? And he goes, oh, because he owns all these companies and makes a load of money. And I was like, is he a good person? Does he treat people nice? Does he treat people correct? Does he, is he rude to people? I always ask those questions first and like understand, like, I never really valued being rich, even though we all love money and we need money to survive. And I would love to, monetize the podcast so I can make money. Yeah. But I never look at millionaires or billionaires and go...
An envy?
I never want that. I always look at who they are as people. What do they do for their friends and family? What do they do for the community? What do they do for a stranger? How how they treat themselves. Like, so health obviously like struck a chord with me because that's like a massive one that we talk about. Is it a selfish thing? Because obviously, it ripples effect.
I think it's unselfish. It's interesting when you break it down.
It's weird like that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Relationships for sure. Like I came from a culture of rugby players where I'm not going to paint all rugby players with the same brush, but it comes with a lot of infidelity.
Yes.
And a lot of
100%.
and a lot of cheating and a lot of stuff like that, and not valuing your partner. So success in relationships is 100%. Like, and not just your romantic relationships, but your friendships, your family. That is huge success.
And just because
you're
married doesn't mean you're successful in relationships, because you could
be
complete. Like, that's not like that's. No. Let's be very clear about that. Like, just because you have a family and you have a marriage doesn't mean you're successful. Because do you prioritize those people over your business partners? Do you prioritize those people over a stranger? Like you said before, how do you treat a stranger? Who gives a fuck? How do you treat your family? Because they're the closest people to you, first and foremost. They're the people that you obviously treat strangers with friendliness and kindness. Know what I'm saying? But like, how you know what I'm saying?
We'll clip that up. We'll clip that up for you.
Like it's how you treat
strangers. No, we wouldn't do that for you.
Flip it.
We wouldn't do that to you. No, I know exactly what you mean, like 100%. So I was trying to think while you were talking before. I was like, is there something else?
Is there something that I'm missing? Because I'm interested I'm open to feedback, but like, I think that like what you said, how you treat people. If you have all of those things in a beautiful triangle and it's all balanced, the way you treat people will be fantastic.
100%. I've just seen people that treat themselves great, but they're assholes, and I'm thinking, I've seen people with loads of money.
There's something
missing in that. Absolutely. What's your deepest fear?
I don't know if I can say that. I was going to joke. I was going to say being fat, but that's not my deepest fear. It was going to be a joke. It's not my deepest fear. My deepest fear...
I don't think you have to fear about that.
...would be... I mean, I don't want to be 200 kilos, but only because I've seen how much it impacts those people's lives because I train them. And my deepest fear would be not reaching my potential.
Love that.
I think.
Yeah. Proudest moment?
Seeing the smile on my parents' face during the Legends game last year when I got to introduce them to Dad's biggest idol growing up, who was Gary Ablett. We used to watch him on the TV all the time. And I remember going to Dad, meet my mate Gary Ablett.
His face drop.
And Dad's just like, mate, this is cool. Dad's like 50 years old. And I'm like, Gaz, this is my old man. Oh, g'day, mate. How are you? I'll get a photo of you guys. Yeah, get a photo. And Mum's there, like, oh, get a photo as well. And that was one of the coolest things. Because like all of this work that my dad has put into me for footy, all of the work that I put into myself, all the work that I've done on social media, was like connecting Dad with like his idols of football. That was like the coolest thing.
That is one of the craziest moments too, because it's almost like a full circle moment where you didn't reach AFL level, which is what you really, really wanted, but how life turns out that you're now playing in a Legends game with legends of
Dude, I almost got it better. I almost ended up getting it better.
You know what I mean? Like you're playing with people.
I feel so bad saying that because it's almost like a coping mechanism for not making it to the AFL as well.
Makes me sleep a lot better.
Makes me feel good. Yeah. I had it better. Obviously, maybe not, but having that moment of being able to do that and put in that echelon with those people is the greatest imposter syndrome I've ever felt in my entire life. It was incredible.
It's funny because a lot of people are like, a lot of the commentators are like, we've got Prime Train here.
This guy. And it's funny, like that commentator, he ended up getting on the program and lost 25 kilos. Brian Taylor.
How many kilos?
25.
Incredible. Yeah,
it looks incredible this year. It looks insane.
Does it? Yeah.
Oh, so stoked for him.
Yeah, so that moment, I remember watching it going, man, you should be so proud of yourself. I know you're so proud of introducing your dad to Gary Ablett, and that's a once in a lifetime thing, but you should really be proud of yourself because you know, although, like you said, life didn't go the way that we planned it to go, but you're playing in the MCG with players that are immortals. I don't know what you have them in AFL, but in league you got immortals. Like that you must have looked around going, you know what? I ticked the box. I probably didn't tick it how I thought.
I was looking around. I was like, this stadium. I was like, what am I doing here? But I do also think like the reason that is so powerful for me is because it gives hope to other people, and I hope that that's the way that people see it. Like you don't have to play AFL to be someone that is well known in the space, or to have a voice, or to
be respected,
or to inspire people and motivate people. Like I'm just a regular local country footballer. Like I've played semi-pro, but I'm nothing crazy. But at the end of the day, like you can still inspire people to be great at something in that realm if you're willing to put yourself out there.
Last question for you. Who's your hero?
My dad.
Without a doubt?
Easy.
Yeah.
Easy answer.
Done. Tom, mate, you're a legend. Thanks again so much for coming on today. Loved every minute of it. We could probably keep talking.
We could talk.
But
we have. We're paying by the hour. I think it's Good Friday. Whatever is it?
It's Easter, so let's enjoy the long weekend, mate. Loved it. We'll do it
mate,
again
I honestly
sometime.
can't thank you enough. I think you do a great job at interviewing. So I've obviously been following it for a while, kind of watching the journey. It's amazing to see, bro. Congratulations.
Appreciate it, mate.
No worries, man.
Done.
Thanks so much for listening to another episode of Mind Your Head. If you'd like to support the show, be sure to subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, wherever you listen to your podcasts. It really supports the show and helps others discover us. Don't forget to join us on Instagram and TikTok at mindyourhead.podcast. We acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land in which we record this podcast, the Gubbi Gubbi people. We pay our respects to their elders, past, present and emerging, and extend that respect to all Indigenous peoples. We honour their enduring connection to the land, waters and culture, and recognise their invaluable contributions they make to our communities. Always was, always will be Aboriginal land.